Hey there, everybody. Oh, I felt like doing a video, but I'm in two minds about it, and this happens a lot of late because everything is so intense and so overwhelming, and there's so much to process every day, every minute of every day, that and you're more now than ever before. When you venture into unknown territory, language just doesn't do it. So I'll see how it goes. I'm just here, and I'll just talk about sort of what's been going on for me. No more, no less. It's not about telling anybody that it's like this or it's like that. It's not about showing away. It's not about anything anymore, because I don't know myself. I just don't. Cup of tea. I know this, that when you have a computer, like I have a Mac, so it's a bit different, but when you have a normal sort of ordinary box standard computer, and it becomes infected with a virus, right? And it takes up all the space on that computer, and it literally infects it and destroys it from the inside out. The computer doesn't function anymore. Increasingly, it just becomes worse and worse and worse. And it's like that inside our consciousness. It's exactly the same thing. All around you, if you really pay attention and if you are doing your inner work, and really my videos will only make sense to people that do their inner work. They won't make sense to anybody else. So I'm just going to put that to rest now, because it used to agitate me, it used to upset me that you occasionally, not very often, occasionally get these comments and you think, yeah, there's one. They just don't do any inner work at all. It doesn't even occur to them. But that's entirely up to each and every one person, and it really has absolutely nothing to do with me. I do my inner work, and and my videos really only make sense to people that are committed to sorting out their consciousness. Because consciousness, and I do believe this still, creates reality. We're not hapless victims in this. We're not being lured here against our will and imprisoned here. Though that at the same time is a very strong factor, it's a very strong element of, you really feel that way now more than ever before. But more than anything, it wants us to despair. It wants us to feel powerless, worthless, hopeless, total despair, like annihilation. You're finished now, and evil's won, and and yeah. So it's just like a computer, your consciousness, in a way. Well, it is, in a sense. It's a quantum computer type thing. So the virus, the consciousness pathogen, whatever, literally just has to be rooted out. It has to be annihilated. It has to be identified, search and destroy, right? It has to be identified. It has to be understood. It has to be seen. All around us are people that... This is this woman who I got really depressed in the lockdowns because I wasn't allowed to go to work, and I was really depressed. And then when I was allowed to go back to work, I was feeling better again. And I thought to myself, yeah, it's a case in point, because when you're no longer able to distract from your from the true state that your psyche is in, trauma-based mind control, insane bit of pain, and you're no longer able to pretend, when you've brought face to face with it, because everything that you have used to carry on pretending you're okay and that this experience, reality, life is okay and it's how it's meant to be, and you just, you know, carry on, just carry on, everything's fine. When you stop being able to do that, of course you're going to get depressed. It's not an imbalance in your brain, no, it's the truth. The truth is that you've lived a life of quiet misery, and that is a major understatement, right? Misery on steroids. It's funny because as I'm driving around town, something I try and avoid doing, but you know, needs must sometimes, at all the bus stops there is this ad, campaign against living in misery, it says. And I know it's all about sort of spousal abuse and domestic abuse, I know that, but that's irrelevant to me. That's just another part of this torture prison that we're in, where people do that to each other on a habitual basis, because apart from the fact that, yes, NPCs, apart from the fact that, yes, narcissism and psychopathy and sociopathy and all kinds of insanity, but all of that is a what's the word? It's part of the course, right? It's part of the course. But it pops up everywhere. It pops up everywhere. And that is what this is. We are on a campaign to sort this out, to end the misery, the dreadful, dark misery. If you took a concentration camp, right, like a really bad one, like Mauthausen, Treblinka, I don't know any of them. If you took that and eradicated the rest of the world and had the inmates of that concentration camp wipe their memory of anything that came before it and of anything that exists outside of it, and tell them on a daily basis that this here, the constant fear, the constant dread, the constant doom, the constant threat that, oh, we're going to come and do this to you now, and they're going to come and do that to you, and they're going to come and take away your children and murder them, they're going to come and you have to do this to survive, and you have to go there to survive, and you see all kinds of horrible shit happening to other people, and you know it's going to come for you. They're going to let you win the occasional battle, but you're all going to lose the war. Fear, 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 fear. You exist in a state of perpetual red alert, red alert, red alert, fight or flight, mental anguish, misery, dread, grief, and in your subconscious just an overwhelming tidal wave, an infinite sea of rage, rage, rage. Because, yeah, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do, and that is your situation. You've forgotten that there was a life before this. You were somewhere else. You were something else, and now you're here. And but this is how it's meant to be. And they put these people amongst you that every day reinforce the notion that, oh no, this is great. It's meant to be this way. You know, this is how it's meant to be. And why are you so upset about it? What's your issue? What's your problem? Pull your socks up. What, you're depressed? That's an imbalance in the brain. Take your pills. Shut up. Keep calm and carry on. This is how it's meant to be. Or you get the nice spiritual people, you know, the Fibonacci demons. Oh, because it's, you know, you're here to grow. It's a soul school. It's a school for your soul, and you're meant to learn this and you're meant to learn that. And it's a paradoxical thing, because whilst you're here having this experience, you have extracted a shitload of stuff from it, because you're a being of light. And the light behaves a certain way in the darkness. it changes its normal parameters of behavior, of understanding, of operating. It's okay, this is a different, I'm in a, okay. So you do extract meaning from it, and you have developed different nuances, different soul knowings and whatnot. Alright. But the driving force here, the driving force, is perpetual defeat, perpetual bleak, grey misery. It wants you, and the vast majority, I was going to say the vast majority, but in fact it's every single person I've ever met. They may, on the face of it, because it's an ego thing, because they want people to think well of them, and they want people to think that they're ebullient and strong and special. So it's like, oh, I think life is great, and yeah, I'm really successful and this and oh, and they sort of they present this image, this like these cardboard cutout people that you used to get in the shops, or in fact even a dummy, because that's really all it is, because it's all fake. Stories of career success and stories of, oh, and he won the lottery, and oh, look at him, and all these glossy, I call it the Coca-Cola ad, right? Because back in the 70s there was this Coca-Cola ad, and it was this little song, and all these people in this beautiful field of wildflowers in the sun, you know, and it was, oh, I want to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. But of course we all know what Coca-Cola really is, right? So I call it the Coca-Cola ad, and that's really what it is, because it's all a fucking lie. And these are the mundane reality reinforcement tactics that they use against us. It's just like, no, life is a blessing, and life is a gift, and you should be grateful. You should feel grateful, be grateful. And here you are trying to fit in, and here you are trying to keep your head above water, and you're trying to survive, and you wonder why it is that life is so difficult for you. And you look at other, but these nice looking glossy people, and because when you really open your eyes, you see that people, and it makes me sound like a mean person, but I'm just going to come out with it, and people are ugly and misshapen, right? We are not pristine, we are not shiny, we are not in the flow. No, we're in the anti-force. We're under perpetual attack. I do like the cry of the seagulls. We're disease ridden, we're ill, people are sick, man. And I'm not just talking about the Punjab people. I'm talking about now more than ever before. Everywhere I see how fat people are, because they're so miserable, they're so unhappy, and they can't. Instead of stopping and thinking, you know what, I need to give up smoking, and I need to address what I'm eating and how I'm living my life, all of it, I need to look at it. I need to start to take steps to self-love, because that really is what it is. But they're so bludgeoned and brutalized and violated in every imaginable way, they can't cope. The only way that they can cope is through eating toxic foods, taking drugs, and taking whatever the doctor throws at them that has side effects, for which they are prescribed other stuff, for which the catch-22 never ends. people are really unwell mentally, emotionally, physically, psychically. People are so unwell. I see it everywhere. People look to me, they look like question marks shoveling down the litter strewn grey dusty misery roads in the concentration camp Earth that we are told is exactly how it's meant to be, and it's all good, and it's good for you, and you're supposed to be here, and or they say that you came here, you have this reason or that reason, but it's always a nice new cage platitude that does nothing whatsoever to empower you and bring you back to yourself at all. No, it's all about keeping you dependent and in a perpetual state of I'm a black hole and I need to feed something into myself here, instead of actually you don't need to feed anything into yourself because you are powerful, you are a being of light. And I think maybe that's the reason I'm doing this video, because what it is for me is this. So I'm doing this detox here, and when you've lived for 55 and some years and you've been really fucking traumatized, really, really, really fucked with in every imaginable way, like your soul traveler will be, you find plenty of people out there who are soul. They're normies. I call them normies a lot. It's just a word that a lot of people use. There's a lot of normies using that word to call other people normies because they think they're awake, and it's like, oh man, you haven't got a fucking clue yet. But anyway, they are not targeted. They're allowed to have semi-easy-ish lives because they're not a direct threat to the dark side, I reckon. Or maybe it's because they're really just not done with the duality experience. I don't know, and it's, I'm neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. I mean, each their own. But it sort of pours salt into your wounds because it's difficult. It is difficult when every step you've taken along the path that has been and is your life has just been so incredibly difficult. But you see, what we do not see, I think, is that the reason for that is because you're special. It's because I am special. It's because you have what it takes to do what needs to be done here, and so you pose a direct threat to evil, to the dark side. That's why. That's really what it is all about. And paradoxically, by targeting you and putting you through fucking hell on steroids, evil has actually handed you the tools you need to do what you must do. Inadvertently, it has done this. It has made you aware of your power, your strength, your courage, your wisdom, your IQ. It's tuned you into your specialness, if you want to call it that. It's shown you who you really are. If you can allow yourself for a moment to step back and focus in, hone in on your experience, such as it has been all the way up to this moment here now, right? If you allow yourself to hone in, stop, focus, hone in. Wow. Yeah? If you were stupid, incompetent, ineffectual, weak, powerless, worthless, dirty, bad, sinful, guilty, would you have the stamina, the courage, the empathy, the compassion, the love the strength, the power to have made it through everything that you have made it through, and be here now to listen to this video by me, another soul traveler, telling you that yes, I understand this because I'm here thinking that way too. I mean, never before. It's always been dire, right? You've only got to look at the photos that Vivian Meyer took throughout the 50s and the 60s and the 70s to know that life has always been a concentration camp. It's always been evil beyond any words. But now our eyes are totally open to that. We see it for what it is now. We see it, we know. And there are many, many, many souled beings across the plane. Think about it, right? They call it a planet. A plane. Wow. Waking up. I can feel it. I can feel it. Waking up now for these people is very hard. It's not the same. For us, it was like years of gradual waking up, and oh yeah. For them, it's happening in one foul swoop, like boom. And I can see how incredibly angry they are. The anger, the hate and the rage is really coming up slowly but surely. You look at what's happening in Brazil, Israel, France. Vive la France. I'm very proud of the French, you know. I love the French in many ways. I think they are they have pizzazz, and I like it. I'm not saying that I see it as real as such. It's a frequency prison we're in, after all, and it's all a bit of an illusion. However, I'm talking about expressions of consciousness, and the French expression of consciousness is one that I admire, and I vibe with it. I'm not saying violence is a great thing at all, it isn't, but passion is beautiful, is good. It's stirring, the consciousness is stirring, and it's saying, you know what? You have subjugated the fuck out of me. You have kept me on my knees. You have taught me that this concentration camp is all there is. You've wiped my memory. Tell me this is all there is. You've put these demons from amongst me and my people, my fellow soul travelers, to 24/7 reinforce the notion that this is all there is and this is how it's meant to be, and you're meant to be here and blah. I mean, that is some seriously nasty fucking abuse, right? The name of the game, the be-all, the end-all, the alpha and the omega, has been brutal subjugation of consciousness, of getting you to completely believe in every imaginable way. First of all, forget right mind vibe. Right, you don't know who you are, what this is, why you're here, where you came from. Is there anything outside of this, or am I here and then I grow old and I die, or I get sick and I die, or I get run over by a bus and then I die, and then I go to heaven where I see Jesus or the angels, or I see my long lost relatives, or grandma will be there, and then boom, and then back here again, or whatever, however, wherever, whatever. That's it. You're given all these stories, all these narratives. This is how it is, this is how it is, that's it, and that's it. And the New Age movement and all the false Abrahamic religions and all that toxic garbage and sludge, and it's bullshit. But interspersed with all of that are pearls of truth. They want you to reject all those pearls of truth by taking a pearl of truth and wrapping it in many, many layers of utter garbage. Just a minute, guys. And the reason for that, typical of any psyop, is to get you to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? That's a major trick of the false light. It does that all the time, which is why you need spirit eyes to be able to see through all the layers of deception to get to the truth that is inherent in religious indoctrinations and New Age indoctrinations and all of it. there is truth here and some there and some there, you know, that's it. Like the Gnostic scriptures, there's some truth in it, and it's wholesome and it's good, and you know, but oh yeah, there's this seagull who seems to, hi, beautiful birds, you know, they, because I put some food out for him, so he comes to visit. Anyway, so how do we, what do we have to do to regain our freedom, our liberation? What do we need to liberate ourselves? Well, we need to get our power, our magic, our light back into our own control. Because for as long as we remember, and we don't really remember much else, we've existed in this state of horrifying misery. It totally dulls your senses, right? It's a bit like being waterboarded 24/7. It literally is. They are torturing us, there's no doubt about that. It's torture, full on, more now than ever before. It's very obvious now. Evil is exposed for what it is and how its MO is very clear. Trauma-based mind control. It's like in Going Up Fighting the Good Fight is a video I did where I point out that people all expect to lose the war. Everybody does. Everybody expects to lose the war. We're going down fighting, and why bother? We need to start understanding, feeling, seeing, trusting that we can win this war. Because we've already done a great deal of winning. And I know that right now that doesn't seem to be apparent. It doesn't feel that way, because this detox for me is brought up a shitload of stuff. Energetic, psychic, trauma-based mind control, rage, insanity. And last week was really difficult because I had to sit with that part of myself I call the passive-aggressive element. Passive aggression is it's all that rage that you feel deep within you, that you find that you're being told by all these NPCs, the religious NPCs and the new cage NPCs, you're not allowed to feel, because that means you're a bad person, right? Feeling all this abject rage, overwhelming rage and hate that you're not allowed to feel because you're a bad person, meaning they want you to keep that trap down there so that you stay trapped. That rage needs to be acknowledged. Everything they've done to you here, right? The horrific abuse, like all the hoops you're forced to jump through on a daily basis just to keep your head above water, right? You have to go to work, whether you feel well enough physically, mentally, emotionally or not. You better get to work because you have to earn money in order to buy the food and the other things that you need. Inevitably, for a lot of people, they barely break even, right? You pay your bills, you get a bit of food, that's it, you're fucked. You know, it's horrifying. It's like every time you buy something, you have to go through this complicated, so you have to switch your phone on, you have to put a code in, it won't accept the code, and you have to try it, send you another code, then blah, then you have to, oh no, it's not working, but you really need to, you really need the item that you want so much to buy here that they charge you a ridiculous amount of money for increasingly. So then you have to speak to one of their advisors, and everything is made really, really sadistically difficult now. I mean, people are totally depleted, totally worn out, mentally, emotionally, physically, because evil's obviously desperate for loosh. It wants to torment the fuck out of us. The torture fest is now so pronounced because it seems to me it's desperate for food. And it works as a healing covenant in the way that horrific abuse, brutal abuse every day that's levied upon us now, triggers the passive aggressive element. This is the part of you that is filled with rage and believes that evil always wins and there's nothing you can do. You're forever with your back against the wall and there is nothing you can do because you're powerless forever, and that's it. And it cannot, will not accept triumph or victory. It cannot, will not accept light. It can only see the negative in all things. And it's perverse in that way, because when something good does happen, something beautiful is there, it will close its eyes to that and turn away and say, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want hate. I choose hate. I choose rage. Because it's also, conversely, the part of you that has been your main navigator in hell. How do you survive in this, I would call it a hostile environment, but that's really softly put. It's way worse than that, really. It really just is. And again, here, with everything that I'm saying, I'm not denying the light. We are the light. And I'm not denying that there is goodness and that there is beauty, that there is meaning here. I'm not denying that, because in many of my videos I talk about that. But I talk about the dark side a lot because in order to fix this, alchemize this, transmute this, heal this, and create the light reset, we have to get to grips with it. There's no other way. We have to face it and acknowledge it in order to heal it. We can't do that if we keep pretending or just allow ourselves to stay trapped in the I'm a powerless victim and I'm just going to stay with that. And then, well, that in and of itself is a really weird thing that a lot of people seem to do. I'm not into that at all. That's just whoa. But you know, I've forgotten where I was at now. Excuse me. The healing covenant. So what gets triggered now, when you're so exhausted and yet you're still forced to, and now you have to get up and do this, and now you have to go and do that, and they don't want to help you, and it's all really, everything's really difficult, really arduous, and it feed and fuck you, and it just brings it up, and the rage that you have to feel it. You have to sit with that part of you, and it's so difficult because it's like they're saying, well, I'm only trying to help you to survive here. I'm only trying to tell you that it's absolutely pointless to believe in any kind of light or in any kind of miracle or in any kind of magic or any kind of healing, or that you're actually going to get out of here because it's all pointless. You're far better off to just expect the worst, and just to accept that this is hell and you're never going to get anywhere. This is all there is, and evil always wins and there's nothing you can do. You're better off just doing that, because if I allow you to tune into the light, if I allow you to explore and focus light and power, and to say to yourself, you know what, I can sit in hell and believe that I'm powerless and just allow this hate and this rage to be my truth. Evil's doing this to me and there's nothing I can do, and I'm going to smash my head against the wall again and again and again in hate and rage and vengeance, which I can never have, and so forth and so on. I can choose to stay there. That's how it's always been. I remember this guy I used to know years ago, and he had a really bad childhood, and he said to me, my hate is all I have and I hold on to it because it's what got me through life. And I've never forgotten that, because that is how most people live, one way or another, subconsciously. I don't know they do, but it's the truth. And now it's this point where that has to be sorted out. We have to heal the passive-aggressive element now, here, finished, done. Release all the rage, which is the anchor that keeps us trapped in this distortion. You're powerless, there's nothing you can do, just stay in hell, versus we need to take a leap of faith. We need to go into uncharted waters. We need to go into the unknown and to choose light, to choose self-love, to choose light, to choose to tune in. Ask yourself this: is it true? Is it true that evil always wins and I'm powerless? No, it isn't. Because it's perverse. It's like when it does see goodness, when it does see light, when it does see that there is an opportunity to step out of that and to say, you know what, I don't know what this is going to bring me. I don't know where this is going to lead me. But if I choose eternal hell, I am sure as shit not going to get anywhere at all. That's not going to help me. It's not going to bring me anything. That will annihilate me. It will become a self-fulfillment prophecy. And finished. I relegate myself to that hell then. It is my choice. I thought that is how it was. That is where I've lived my whole life. I've never known any different. But now I do. I can see that I can make a different choice. It's the most difficult choice ever, because I have no idea that it will yield results. The passive-aggressive element here says, don't bother taking that leap of faith. You will only be disappointed. You will only be betrayed. It's all a lie. Just stay in hell. But I'm like, no, I won't, because I've been in hell for fucking way too long already, and I'm not doing it. So yeah, I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to tune in, because, you know, within me, I feel, and I know that I'm a being of light. If evil was all powerful, I would not exist. It would eradicate me. There wouldn't be any flowers. There wouldn't be this beautiful, beautiful seagull. So white, almost shiny white. Yay! Hi, my friend. Oh, beautiful. Yeah? That's some beautiful bird. And so intelligent, the way he cocks his head and those yellow eyes, and he's like, yeah, what's going on? You know, there is consciousness, there is beauty, there is colour. Yes, there is all that horrific evil and all the horrific abuse and everything, all of that we have to acknowledge. We have to feel our way through that, and it's the hardest part ever. It's like you have to get through that darkness to get to the light within you. You have to heal it. You feel it. Tune into yourself, and just feel your way through and understand. Evil is a force of annihilation, of destruction. It is the anti-force, right? Which is the opposite of the flow. The flow is the light reset, where everything little by little, like in the Mandela effect, begins to reset itself. Blossom, bloom, being reborn, healed. And I know the dark side, you wouldn't be able to handle that. No, that type of miraculousness and magic, no, you wouldn't be able to handle that. Better stay in hell, better stay in hell. And I'm like, man, I've been here for fuck knows how long, and I've suffered the most horrific abuse, and you're telling, and I've somehow forged back, bit by bit, myself from your evil, disgusting clutches, and now you're telling me I won't be able to handle the magic and the miracles. Oh yeah, right. Fuck you. I choose to take a leap of faith. I know, because I can tune in. I am a being of light. You're a being of light. With all that courage and all that empathy and all that love and all that creativity. Evil is a liar, it's a deceiver, it's a liar, and it's done a really good job here at trapping us in that oh, I'm powerless and I hate man, and rage, and it's the rage that needs to be released now. It has to be cleared out. It has to be cleared out. It has to be healed. And you can cross then. You can make the crossing. You can make the crossing. And you feel it. You know it because you feel it within yourself. And you tune in, you can feel it. The light. That sense of breaking out of the dark, evil prison. Slowly but surely, it's like the doors are opening, everything. You feel it. You feel it. Something is happening. It is happening already, very slowly, burgeoning. But you have to make that choice. You're probably going to have to make it a few times. To stop being the passive, aggressive victim. Which, by the way, it's where you've been in cahoots with the dark side, brutalizing the fuck out of yourself, right? Because if you function on the proviso here that it's better to expect the worst, that way you won't be disappointed, evil always wins anyway, it might let you win the occasional battle here and there, but you're always going to lose the war, everybody loses the war, that's just the way it is, blah blah blah. You're not going to be kind to yourself. If that's how you've learned to navigate in hell, you're going to brutalize the fuck out of yourself. Oh, get the fuck real. What? Hopium, there's no sign, you're not going to be alright, let's just fucking, right, you're going to kick the shit out of yourself on a daily fucking basis. And so you're helping evil, you're evil's little helper, right? And you need to take back that consent, you need to stop, you need to be very aware of how you've been your own fucking worst enemy, how you've brutalized the fuck out of yourself, how you've been in cahoots with the dark side. Not because you were in awareness. You learned to do that to yourself, and that is the mechanism by which evil creates hell. Because this world is populated with people and animals and nature that all exist in that dark, infected, distortion state, punishing themselves, hating themselves, and it's all fueled by rage, right? That is how evil gets to live and exist and create through us, because it itself cannot create. Evil's not really powerful. We shouldn't underestimate the enemy ever. Obviously, if evil was completely powerless, we wouldn't be in this state. That's a fact. But ultimately, I think that we, the light bringers, the light bearers, the beings of light, have the power. The true consciousness always had the power. We're coming to the end of this whole duality, which is really not a very good word for it at all. The consciousness infection experience, we're coming to the end of it, you see. Rewilding, taking back our power, but it has to be a choice that you make in awareness of where you've given away all your light, all your power. Oh, I have to survive. Oh yeah, I'm powerless and brutalize myself. I can't allow myself to have any kind of hope, any kind of light, any kind of positivity, because evil always wins. I mean, it's time to allow ourselves to tune into our light, allow ourselves to have that sense of, can you see it? The golden world, the beauty, the goodness, something. It's right there. There's just a tiny bit of a film there, but not much. It's a choice, guys, it's a choice. Choose light. Choose infinite harmonious creativity. Choose love. Choose to have faith. Choose to trust. Not in God or anything external, but this force of light, of power, of goodness, of beauty that is us, that we are a part of, that we belong in, that belongs in us. It is the true consciousness. It is infinitely beautiful and lush. But we have to forgive. We have to forgive. And I don't mean forgiveness in the sense, it's a hijacked word. And this is what I mean when I say pearls. So what you've been given to believe about forgiveness is that people get to do all kinds of horrifying, nasty, evil shit, and you're just going to be a martyr and forgive them and then let them do it again and again and again. So when somebody talks to you, like me right now, about forgiveness, all that rage is going to come up. It's going to rip that wound right open, and you're going to get, wow, you're going to feel consumed with rage and with hate. Some of you. I did. But that isn't forgiveness. No. But you do need to process this shit. And you need to sit with the rage and allow yourself to feel all these emotions that you were taught you're not allowed to feel because that makes you a bad person. You have been abused. They have done it to you in every fucking imaginable way. They are doing it to you now in every imaginable way. There's absolutely no denying that. You need to acknowledge that. You need to be with that. You need to feel your way through that. You need to feel that passive aggressive element that is totally fueled by hatred and rage and that wants vengeance, even though it's never going to get any vengeance, because if you're powerless and there's nothing you can do to the enemy, that vengeance will never happen. All that is what keeps you trapped and is what keeps you in your battery state, right? So you need to heal that. Oh, God. But it is a choice to acknowledge the light within yourself. It is a choice to make that crossing, because you can heal this shit, man. We can heal this. We can neutralize it, alchemize it, transmute it, heal it. And then evil will no longer have any power over us. That plug is gone. It's gone. It will be gone. This is the last vestige of, well, it's the last of the weakest link that they can use to plug into us and use us like a, you know, it's very difficult, I know that, because it's so perverse. No, there is no light. It just wants to keep on believing that, because it's dreadfully terrified of finding out there is no light after all. So it takes a leap of faith. It chooses to trust and to have faith and to forgive, meaning to let go of the vengeance, that I want vengeance and I want to hurt them back and I want to fuck them up, which none of that serves us at all. This is a victim mindset. This is I'm a powerless victim, I'm passive aggressive, and this is what I want. Because that is not what you want. You want to be free, you want to be back, you want your magic, your power restored, and you want the light reset. That is what you want. You don't want to languish in hell, craving vengeance that you will never have, self-destroying over and over and over again, serving the dark side whilst you're doing it, because that is what evil wants you to do. So this is yeah, and it's a difficult one, because it's like no, but you have to work through it, and by doing that, because your true self is here facilitating, and it will hold on to you and it will get you through it, you see. And then something, yes, the light, you can feel it within you and around you. You know that it's real, it's not a lie. You begin to see, spirit eyes, very clearly how evil has manipulated you and trauma-based mind controlled you, so that it can use your magic, your power to create this shit, because it can't do anything. See, the reason that we have artificial intelligence, I call it artificial stupidity, is that souled beings cannot be evil. We can do things that hurt others and so forth and so on up to a point. True, we can cause harm. But to be perpetually evil in a way that evil is evil, like the psychopaths and whatnot, a soul being could never do that. It would literally be, I think it would be destroyed or something. So in order for evil to exist at all, it has to be artificial. Evil is artificial. It is not a natural thing. it's hard to get my head around, even for me, that this is an experience that we chose to have, as opposed to, oh well, we were deceived and trapped here. I don't think that's the truth. I think there is some, that is part of the equation, most definitely, because that is what evil does. It deceives, it lies, it tricks, it traps, and we've allowed that to go down in order to have a certain type of experience. But we weren't always going to have it, and now it's time to call it a day. So we need to transmute, alchemize, come to terms with it, distill and extract that which we want to maintain as part of our being, right? It becomes part of, it adds to our perfection, in other words, right? But the rest of it is to be gone, no more, like reset, okay, home. But it is a choice. You can stay in hell, and you know, with the gnashing and the wailing, the gnashing of teeth and the wailing and all that, you can do that and be your own demon, punish yourself, kick the shit out of yourself, or you can choose the light reset. And that is really scary shit, I know, because you're there and you're thinking, well, what and when and how and this and that and who and how, and it's very, you know, but I choose light. I will always choose light. And I've had my darkest moments where it was like, well, evil's won. You've been defeated. You're going to be fucking tortured to death, and you know, that's all there is. And even in those moments, and it's honestly, it's in moments like that where you absolutely have no false self or ego, what people call ego, left at all. You have nothing. You're literally just like a tiny little child, and you're literally just fucking terrified. But even then, I quietly but defiantly thought, I'll choose light even here. I will choose light. And I choose to love myself and to know beyond any doubt that I am a being of light, and that I deserve true well-being, and the magic is mine and the light is mine, and I will hold on to that if it's the last thing I ever fucking do. Right? Yeah. That is our objective. That is why we fight, guys. That is what it is to fight with love. That is how you make your stand. Forgiveness is about seeing the truth that to stay in hell, brutalizing yourself, expecting the worst because you'll only be disappointed. Self-hate, man. That's how you really, it's just self-abuse on behalf of the dark side, and wanting vengeance at the same time. So you can see how insane that is, and how it distorted and delusional that really is. But that, you can do that. It's your choice, but it will destroy you. You won't get anywhere, and you'll suffer dreadfully. Or you can choose light. And yeah, it is taking a risk, and it is taking a leap of faith, and you don't know where that's going to go, what that's going to look like. You don't know when, you don't know what, you don't know where or why or any of that, but you feel something within yourself. You've been in this torture hell, and it wiped your memory, and it did it all to you, and it's fucking horrifying. The truth, when you really get it, it's a major shock to the system. Because it is, it's just demon feeding fest. Everywhere you go, there's cars everywhere, there's rubbish everywhere, there's dirt, you breathe and it's like, whoa. And it's all manipulation, and stupid people that are just waking up that haven't got a fucking clue and talk absolute bollocks, and you have to put up with that, and you have to listen to this, and you're assaulted over there, and it's all the weird fucking sound. You know, and you're trying to make ends meet, and you're trying to keep your head above water, and it's like hell is going on full strength, and so you're going to feel really defeated and inundated with doom and fear and grief, because let's not forget, people, that behind all that abject rage is sorrow and grief. You know, and there's far more. That's when you go through the rage, you get to the grief. because that's really what lies behind all that hate and all that rage, is grief and sorrow and pain and suffering, because you're a being of light and your compassion is so big, and you see the suffering of the animals and nature and the few soul people, and it, oh, the grief, right? It's a very tough journey, you know. But we choose whether we stay in hell or whether we take a chance on love. Whether we take a chance on the light, on ourselves. Whether we choose to believe that actually we have something within us. We are powerful. And we're gonna explore that. We're gonna focus and tune into that gently, and focus gently into that. Probe it, feel it when you can. Okay, and see. It's an exploration of the light within us. Just tune into it, feel it, tune into it, be in awareness. Choose light, choose love, choose yourself, choose thinking and behavior that serves the light. Be kind to yourself, and practice forgiveness, as in when you're dealing with narcs and demons and whatnot, let it go, keep letting go. It's very difficult because they don't want you to let go. They want you to be filled with rage and hate and victimhood and vengeance, and it keeps you it's like a continual negative, harmful, toxic feedback loop. Work through it. Keep working through it, because it's always a healing covenant. Always. If you think about where you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, keep doing the work, you see that you make progress, that you get it more and more. Your spirit eyes, third eye, wow, yes, I know what to do, you know what to do. If there was no light, that would not have been possible. You would not have fucking made this amount of progress and gained this insight. It is difficult. Evil is so good at making you feel that you're never going to be allowed to get anywhere. I know that, but it's your choice to turn away from that and to tune into the light, and to trust and have faith and believe that you are going to get somewhere, that the light is going to win, that love always wins, that love is more powerful than evil, and that everything is going to be all right. But that's a choice, and that is what everything hinges on now. I think that's it for today. All my love to all of you.